900 years ago that the Battle of Hastings took place, but what was it all about? Well, when Edward the Confessor died, Harold was made King of England, but there were others who claimed the throne was rightfully theirs. One of them was Duke William, a distant relative of Edward, who crossed the English Channel with a huge army to challenge the throne. And today I'm going to find out exactly what happened with the help of some of my friends. Battle reenactment is incredibly popular with people who are interested in history. With societies like Regia Anglorum and the Vikings, they managed to recreate battles so well. What's going on here?
Here we have a line of Bretons and Normans fighting a line of Saxons. In fact, if I could just call three out for you.
Yeah.
Can you come over here, please?
Hello.
Hiya.
Where are you from?
I'm from Texas.
From Texas?
Texas.
What are you doing all the way over here then?
Well, I wanted to come over here and learn about my heritage.
Why do you do it?
Well, there's a historical side of it. It's really interesting. You learn, since I've been in the society, I've learned leather crafts and how to do a bit of embroidery and all sorts. And also the social life is really good afterwards.
What about you gentlemen over here with your long locks? What's your favourite battle been?
This one, I think.
Why's that?
It's the sheer scale of the battle. There's a huge troop of cavalry coming charging up the hill towards you, which really gives you the feel of how it must have been. It's so much bigger than any of the other battles I've done before. It gives you a much better impression of how it would have been at the time.
Well, you certainly look like you're enjoying yourself. Right, OK, well, I'll let you get on with it, and you better go before I start falling on the floor and trying to be your mate, because he looks very much like Mel Gibson, don't you think? Right, off you go then. Right, now it's time for Bonkers and a story called What You Read is What You Get. See you in a moment. Venture here at the Battle of Hastings, and this is almost like a living museum of how the Saxons used to live. Let's go and have a look. This is camping medieval style. As you can see, they're preparing and cooking food. It can't have been too bad a life, but that tent looks really comfy. Hello.
Hello.
I hope you don't mind me barging into your kitchen like this.
Not at all.
Who are you?
I'm the Lady Tui Olafsdottir.
I beg your pardon?
The Lady Tui Olafsdottir.
Goodness me, what does that mean?
It means I'm actually the head of this family here, but you can call me Tiri. I wouldn't allow them to call me Tiri because it's terribly rude.
Oh, right. And what are you preparing?
Well, essentially I'm just tidying up because my women have been making a mess again, unfortunately.
What's it like being a Saxon woman in this village?
Oh, very nice.
How are you treated?
Very well.
In what way?
Well, I own a bit of land from my first marriage. Of course, we got killed in battle, but obvious to do that. I now have a younger husband,
Right.
and he behaves himself far better.
So Saxon women were very much the boss?
Well, I've been talking to people here today, and they tell me that essentially, I think it's very much the same in your time, really, that the men think they're the bosses, but the women know that they are.
So what will happen after you've had your dinner?
We sit down, drink some ale, drink some mead, tell some stories. A storyteller came the other night. And we have songs. He brought his lyre, and we have songs sung. And usually that priest turns up. Oh, there he is again. I suppose you're ready for your dinner as well. This is my household priest. We always have to have a member of the church in a high-ranking household because.
I'm merely visiting your household, daughter.
Of course, you're always merely visiting our household. You live here
Especially
all
at
the
meal
time.
times.
Yes, I've noticed.
He looks rather grand. Anyway, talking of fashion, join us after the break because we are indeed looking at medieval fashion, so don't go away. Thank you. You're welcome. A trip back in time to find out just exactly how the battle was won. But first, I want to find out what the fashionable soldier wore in 1066. The knights were the elite of the army and would have come to the battle very well prepared. First, they had a layer of padding, over which they would wear a hauberk or coat of mail. This in itself would weigh 20 kilos, so as you can imagine, it must have got a bit sweaty in there. Now it's time for the second part of Bonkers. I'm sure who's going to get rid of that squid. Tell me, what do you think, George? Yes. Adventure, and any moment now there's going to be a reenactment of the Battle of Hastings. which originally took place on the 14th of October, 1066. And I cannot wait, and neither can the thousands of people that have come along to watch it. And I'm going to find out just why they find it so fascinating. What do you enjoy about battle reenactment?
It's a good day out. I think the commitment of all the people that take part. You would have liked to have gone and joined in, I think. Yeah. Yes, you would.
Do you think it's authentic?
Yeah, I thought it was very good, because I watched a video of it last year and I thought this was better than the actual video.
Yeah, it's been very good.
Join us after the break when we'll be able to see the tension really mounting as both sides are preparing for the confrontation. Now, I've managed to sneak into the French camp. That's the opposition to you and me. And if I am not mistaken, sitting over there is William, Duke of Normandy. Now, I need to ask him a few questions. Dukey, Yvette Fielding, Disney Club. Now, why have you decided to come and invade England?
Because it's my right.
Well, what makes you think it's your right?
Because the last King of England, Edward, promised me the throne, and that upstart Harold has stolen it.
All right, you don't need to get all excited. Now then, how many men have you got with you?
About 7,000.
That's a lot. Are they good boys?
Reasonably, yeah.
What do you think your chances are then?
Well, very good. We have God on our side, and above all, we're Norman.
Right, well, if you're going to take that attitude, I'm going to go and speak to Harold. I've just got to see King Harold. This is so important.
Stand up!
Oh, you don't have to be so abrupt. Move out of the way. I've got to see King Harold. Oh, this is so worrying. I've just been speaking to Dukey William, and he's got 7,000 soldiers. I mean, he says he's going to conquer you. I mean, what do you say to that? I mean, can you cope? And I mean, how many men have you got?
I've got 6,000. We've got the high ground and we're right.
Right, OK. Well, good luck on that. I mean, I've got to go, but, you know, there you go. Thanks
Before you go, you're such a good messenger that you can come and fight with my men.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, as long as I don't get hurt or anything.
No, you won't get hurt. It'll be fine.
Oh, right,
You'll
I'll
be
go
all
and
right.
get
We'll
ready.
look after you.
Hello, Yvette. Yvette?
What? What, Craig? What do you want now?
Hey, do you remember the other day I invited you to a bonfire party down in the park? Well, just to remind you, it's tonight, and all the gang will be there, so don't miss it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's very nice of you. But as you can see, I'm a little bit tied up at the moment, so I might see you later. Oh, there you are. I thought I'd lost you. Well, listen, now it's time for someone who's cursed with clumsiness. It's not me. No, it's Aladdin. And here he is in a story called Smolder and Wiser. And have persuaded me to fight for king and country. So here goes.
Saxons! Awaken! Name it! Weapons! Rear it! Weapons! Unready!
Up the hill they go, foot by foot.
Duke William knew he had to break the Saxon line of troops if he was to gain any ground, and sent his archers out to rain arrows on the English. But they were very well prepared and held their shields high to protect themselves. After that, he had no alternative but to send in the mounted cavalry. That's quite enough fighting for one day, and I'm totally exhausted. Join us after the break, and we shall be showing you how the battle ends. All right, lads, carry on. Still in full swing. Both armies fought courageously, but in the end, William's soldiers overpowered the English and killed King Harold. With their leader now dead, the English retreated, and the country had a new king, William the Conqueror. Week, and I'd like to thank everybody that's been involved in today's show. If you want any more information about the reenactment of the Battle of Hastings or the English heritage, then here's the address to write to. Disney Club, P.O. Box 123, London,
Hundreds of Saxon and Norman soldiers locked in combat today as battle remembered. 929 years to the day since the Battle of Hastings, the whole event has been reenacted on the original site. Sally White was there.
I want you all to die gloriously. Shield!
Sage advice for the troops reenacting one of history's savage battles under the shadow of the Battle Abbey built by William after this defeat of the Saxons in 1066. Back then, 7,000 soldiers fought on each side. Today's reenactment, with considerably fewer troops, brought its own problems.
Instead of 14,000 troops fighting over the course of a day, we've got something in the region of 700 over the course of an hour. And so we have to coordinate very carefully to make sure there aren't big pauses and gaps.
Top period reenactment societies from across this country are taking part, as well as visitors from societies in Denmark and Russia.
What you're seeing on the field today will be fairly much an ad hoc performance, people making it up as they go along. There's no scripted fighting or anything, it's all pure skill and training and enjoyment. I'm on the side that's looking to win, or if not, perhaps just come a close second. I'm the Saxon Army commander. I stand beside Harold and order the troops around and make sure that they end up in the right place at the right time and drive the Normans from the field, as I'm sure we're going to do.
Without wanting to give away the plot, it will be a total rewriting of English history if he succeeded. Sally White at Battle for Meridian News.
The Norman invasion claims a new road could destroy the site where William the Conqueror landed.
Yes, Nick Austin says he can prove that the French army landed not in Pevensey Bay, as generations of schoolchildren have been taught, but at Hastings, where the remains of their fleet still lie. Well, news of Mr. Austin's theory coincides with the anniversary of the famous Battle of Hastings, which was fought again at the weekend. 929 years ago, the Normans won. What happened this time, though? From the battleground, here's Alan Rook.
The Norman army overpowers King Harold's Saxons. William the Conqueror takes the English throne. 500 20th century warriors relive what was perhaps the most devastating surprise attack in English history. The biggest reenactment ever staged, 929 years to the day that the French invaded England. But could the historians have got key facts about this pivotal moment of English history wrong? This man thinks they have.
Well, historians have always believed that the Normans landed in Pevensey Bay. I know differently, because in this bay, in the Coomhaven Valley in 1066, 380 Norman ships and 5,000 men landed.
Evidence? Well, Nick Austin says there's lots. There are 8 Norman records of the invasion. More than 40 common references across those records, he says, identify here what was the Hastings coastline as the landing point.
In this very place, in the Bayeux Tapestry, you can see them building a ditch. And behind the ditch, up there, there's a hill. And on top of the hill, there's a fort. There are 2 forts, one at the top of the hill, one at the bottom of the hill. This is the only place where those events happen. In Pevensey, there are no 2 forts. On the Bayeux Tapestry, there are 2.
If he's right, it means these fields are the most important archaeological site in England, fields that have remained untouched for almost a millennium. But after 7 years, Nick Austin's research has taken on a new urgency, because if he can't convince others that his theory is right, then all this could soon look like this. The new Hastings Bexhill bypass threatens to cut a swathe right through the middle of it all. A public inquiry starts in 2 weeks.
The Normans didn't land at Pevensey. They landed here in this remote little part of Sussex, right next to Hastings. And we've got a fantastic opportunity to dig up and know exactly what went on. We have found the invasion site. Now it's time to dig it up.
Cambridge University is considering his research. Now it's up to a government inspector to decide. If the road route is moved and the archaeologists allowed in, Nick Austin is convinced that not too far beneath this earth is a wealth of evidence that will rewrite the history books.
If we let that road come through this site, it would be a national disgrace.
When William the Conqueror invaded from his home area, northern France. King Harold of England heard of the threat and marched his troops to face the French. For Newsround, Tim Lavelle takes up the story.
It looks like any old hill, but 929 years ago, this would have been the scene. King Harold's troops were defending the top of the hill. If they won the battle, they would defeat William's French soldiers, and Harold would stay King of England. It's one of the most important moments in English history. That's why 500 volunteers, dressed up to look the part, gave up their weekend to show an excited crowd of 14,000 people what the battle really would have been like. The fighting starts when William's troops march up the hill and charge. It begins to look very dangerous and dramatic, especially when William sends in the horses. The battle lasts all day, and finally Harold's troops run down the hill to attack, but that's their mistake. They split up and William's soldiers move in. Harold is killed and William wins control of England. It was tiring in 1066. It was tiring in 1995.
I feel absolutely shattered. It's been a long day, it's really warm, really humid, but if you think I look bad, you should probably see the people in chainmail.
Today it's been very, very hot and very, very warm. As you might be able to tell, I'm losing an awful lot of moisture.
And as they met the crowds, everyone thought they'd done well.
I liked it because it was quite exciting and I never thought it was going to be like that, but before I came here I didn't even understand the Battle of Hastings really, so I've liked it now.
And though it looks dangerous, in fact it's done very carefully. And once the secret was out, everyone wanted to have a go and got very good at it too.